he had a big afternoon for us. Obviously, after we go down 1-0 in the first, I always think it's important if you can bounce back. And for him to hit a 2-run homer, and then you got a guy on second with one out to single there, put us up to 3-1. It allowed Masa to go to work. And I thought Tyler Austin had a big day for us as well today. Thought he swung the bat well, couple doubles, couple RBIs.
You mentioned Austin. What looked different for him in the batter's box?
It's hard to say. Well, a knuckleballer, I can't really predict that. I think one of them was a fastball he hit, and maybe both. I'm not sure, but I mean, he swung the bat a little bit better lately.
Was Warren available today?
No.
When you have a 4-run lead, you're up there. You're going to those young guys in those tough situations. What is that like for you, wondering what you're going to get from them on any given?
I believe in them. I believe that they can get outs. Holder got a big out for us. Tommy Lane had to finish it up. I thought Heller made a good pitch. I believe in these kids, and they're going to get more comfortable, and you just got to keep throwing them out there.
Wally.
Joe, are you starting to get concerned about Aaron Judge's strikeouts, even from a psychological standpoint?
Wally, I think he's handled it pretty well. He's going through a tough time, and mechanically, I think he's a little bit off. We're trying to get him back on track. We got to help him get through it. That's all. We got to help him fight through it. We know that he has ability, and we believe that he can do it.
Barry.
Joe, could you talk about Tanaka today really not having his best stuff, but really toughing it out?
Yeah, that first inning, he got hit pretty hard. He didn't have a slider today early on, and he, they figured that out and realized that they had to go to the split more than maybe they would have. But I thought, after giving up the run, the first inning, getting hit pretty hard, he settled down and gave us some big outs.
What about for the whole season? I mean, I was looking at it. It's like 12 non-decisions for the guy, plus 12 wins. I mean, he's really kept you in a lot of games.
Well, he's pitched well. I mean, anytime you have an ERA around 3 in the American League East, I think you've pitched really well. So he's given us a chance to win a lot of games.
Ron.
There have been a lot of games where you scuffled against knuckleballers, Dickey and Wright. What is the key for Jacoby and others on a day like that?
It looked like Jacoby got one up in the first inning. Looked like the other one was down somewhat. I wish I knew. I didn't think his knuckleball was dancing as much today, and I think that's maybe why we saw some more fastballs from him today than usual. I mean, you'd have to ask the guys, but it's hard. He's hard to figure out.
Jared.
Joe, with Greg Bird coming off a major injury, how important is it you see something from Austin over the next month?
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. I think it's a kid that can help us in different areas. So we thought he had an outstanding minor league season. We believe that he can help us. He can play first. He could play in the outfield if you needed him to, so it gives you some versatility. So from that fact, I think it's important.
John. Middle, Joe.
Joe, you talked about still being in this race. So how do you balance it with Judge as far as maybe putting somebody else in there and wanting to see him get at bats and get through this?
Well, he's our most natural right fielder. I mean, you look, he made a pretty big play today. I'm not so sure if that ball would have went out, but it sure looked like it close. He made a diving catch. He had a hit yesterday. It's a balance. For me, I'm going to look when I think he needs a day off, and I'll give him a day off. But, without Hicks in that rotation, it becomes a little bit different.
Kevin.
Joe, with all the strikeouts from Judge, what does he learn that can help him in the future in these situations?
Well, I think, some of it sometimes can be controlling your emotions, being able to relax in the box, not trying to do too much. Those aren't necessarily things that I see him doing, but it's always hard to tell what's going through, a person's mind. Trying to slow the game down, looking for your pitch, remaining patient. Those are the things that you want to see him be able to do. As long as he remains patient, I believe he's going to hit. But as soon as he gets over-aggressive, then you start to worry a little bit.
Wally.
Joe, with Hicks out, is Ref Snyder really your only option now for right field aside from Judge?
I have E.Y. Jr., and I could stick Tyler Austin out there too.
Chad and Ron.
So you put Hicks on the DL today. Any reason to do that?
I'm not sure why we did it.
And any update on
it
Chad
happened
Green?
during the game, so
okay.
He's going to have another test tomorrow. The contrast one.